Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Jerry Sansing with another edition of What's Going On in Corpus Christi, Texas. My producer is Dr. Janelle Bennett. This is May the 25th. It's on a Friday. Beautiful outside. Air times are Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. and then we've got Wednesday at 9 o'clock p.m. Now those are going to change after June the 3rd, so I'll give you that new update. My Gmail address is gsansing, SANSING at gmail.com. Please let me know what's going on in your world, and I'll let you know what's going on in the Taxpayers Association world. Most of you out there are taxpayers in one form or another, and you need to start paying attention and learn the candidates, folks. We've got a lot of people around here with forked tongues that are really doing you in with an awful lot of money. So as long as they've got the money in their pockets, they don't care about you. Anyway, I'll be right back. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, looks like the camera's rolling, lights are on. I'm going to go take my seat. As I said, this is a one-man operation, and I don't think that's got much to do with me making people uncomfortable and fearful, but you never know. I've been accused of that on several occasions. I just try to tell the truth, folks. And anyway, I'm going to tell you that this is May the 25th on a Friday. I'm going to go ahead with what's going on in Corpus Christi, Texas, and come June the 3rd, I think, which is a Sunday after that, then this show is going to air at 8:30 p.m. to 9 on Tuesdays and 8:30 to 9 on Wednesdays, and then on the South Texas News and Reviews, which follows this one, I was able to get those again at 9 to 10 o'clock p.m. on Tuesday and 9 to 10 o'clock on Wednesday, which is going to thrill everybody in the elected officials around here. Now I'm going to go ahead and reiterate that we have an awful lot of elected officials that will lie to you, and they bend the truth, and they're in it for themselves, and I don't mind saying that, but here's Jiminy Cricket right in the middle of Pinocchio's face. As the nose grows, his nose grew in proportion to the lies he told. So there's Jiminy giving him hell about that, and I hope that you will subscribe to that happening. Okay? All right, now, what I'm going to do this evening is I need to have a discussion about the assault on your right to know certain things, okay? As a taxpayer, you have rights under the Federal Freedom of Information Act to know what your elected officials are doing with your tax money. And in Texas, it's the Texas Public Information Act request, and I could go into the numbers and so forth, but I will not. Okay? Now I'm going to start with the flowers up here. These are beautiful magnolias. I have spent a lot of time in the southeast and then in South Texas and then Texas in general, and that's probably my favorite plant. So I'm dedicating these to my mother, Miss Connie, my deceased wife, Miss Lynn, and my dear friend, Miss April 23, who, by the way, doesn't like the essence there. But anyway, that's okay with me. To each his own. Anyway, so there are the flowers, and I've given you the air times for the new segment, which will start probably, I imagine it'll be on this one, on this cycle. But you can always email me at gsansing@gmail.com, and I can give you any information you need. I'll be glad to converse with you and see what you think about what's going on around this organization. And I am a Del Mar College employee. I've just completed and going into my 29th to 30th year at Del Mar College. I started in August of 1989. So I'm coming up with 30 years. I can't believe it's been that long since I have left the research business, rattling test tubes for mostly private industrial antibiotic companies, pharmaceutical companies, and so forth. But here I am, and I've had a ball, folks. I enjoy my students. I enjoy Corpus Christi, Texas. I just see it just makes me want to sit down and weep when I see how the elected officials here and people that are hired by the city that come in here and tell untruths, and they want to bloat the system and so forth and so on, and they will not tell you the truth for whatever reason. But I'm going to try to get you the truth. Okay? Now, I am totally blown away on May the 16th of this year, 2018, by a Caller Times columnist here, Tom Whitehurst Jr., okay? And it's Corpus Christi Caller Times. Now, I'm going to try to read this with the light glaring in my eyes, but this is an assault on your right to public information. And of course, your elected officials are there to wine you and dine you and tell you how great they're going to treat you and how well they're going to do, and take care of your tax monies and so forth. And here's what they're doing right here. That's most of them. This Pinocchio. They've got their buddies in different positions, bankers and architects, engineers, and so forth and so on, contractors, builders, and so forth that are going to screw you sideways if they get a chance. Okay, so it's all about the money. So, if somebody's got time to go run for a position, there's a reason that they want to do that other than taking care of you taxpayers. And it's quite obvious these days. Now, I am floored that Tom Whitehurst, I think he's the, what is that? I forget what his position is. He oversees all of the columns that were run, and public comments and so forth and so on. And he's usually someone that I can't really subscribe to what he says, but this one floored me on May the 16th. Okay? So this is Tom Whitehurst Jr. in the Corpus Christi Caller Times. Okay? We the people are supposed to have the right to know what our government does and how it spends our money. I wouldn't know that from reading an awful lot in the Caller Times, Mr. Whitehurst, okay? You're slanted towards people that buy ads and so forth and so on, as a.k.a. Del Mar College. You're not going to say anything derogatory about those people as long as they're subscribing and advertising Del Mar College. This should go without saying, but unfortunately this fundamental right is under assault here in Texas. No joke, sir. I've been preaching that for, the last 15, 20 years. All Texans should be outraged. This isn't just a right of news media to inform for news stories, okay? It's a right of any Texan to find out how tax money is being spent and how officials arrive at their decisions. It's the government contracts to make sure, or the government contacts. Oh, wait a minute. It's the right of taxpayers and business operators who bid for government contracts to make sure that the government officials aren't playing favorites with companies they choose. Well, that's further from the truth in Del Mar College, Nueces County, and the city of Corpus Christi, and so forth and so on. I mean, this is one corrupt system, folks, and I can prove it. Okay, it's the right of those business operators to find out what worked and what didn't in their presentation so they can be more competitive next time. Well, that's kind of contrary to what you said in the preceding paragraph, but I'll let you know, because these people know how to screw you. Okay? The cornerstone of Texans' right to know is our Public Information Act. 2 Texas Supreme Court rulings in 2015 did egregious damage to it. One of those rulings allowed a giant corporation, Boeing, to keep secret the terms of its government lease. The other allowed a private entity functioning like a Chamber of Commerce or Economic Development Corporation, the Greater Houston Partnership, to keep secret its services agreement with Houston. Considering Houston's size, we can only imagine that a lot of the public money was involved, or a lot of public money was involved. Actually, the reason we can only imagine is that the information is being withheld. Okay, we shouldn't have to imagine. We should be able to find out just by asking. Well, you can't do that anymore, folks. Your freedom of speech and your rights to public information and so forth is being squelched at the behest of a lot of people who are messing you around. Okay? All right, I'm going to keep going here. I won't interject too much more. Proposed legislation to correct the problems imposed by these rulings failed during the 2017 legislature because the business lobby got to our lawmakers. Oh, that's a big surprise. The result is that the problem has festered for 3 years now, and it doesn't. And the soonest it can be corrected is next year, assuming our lawmakers grow backbones. It's not backbones, folks. It's larceny. It's theft. It's people being untruthful. That's what it's all about. And money corrupts. Okay. That's enough time for withholding information to become a habit. It has. Businesses, governments, and quasi-government economic development corporations challenge information requests and win routinely now. They cite one of two things. The Texas Attorney General's office puts up little or no fight, and we, the people, lose big. And I'm going to explain that to you in great detail here. Okay? I just happen to be knowing exactly what's happening there. Here are only two examples of what is happening statewide in large cities and small towns. Denton is building a power plant and refusing to disclose the construction contract or even the price tag. The educated outside guess is $265 million. But the longer this kind of information is allowed to be withheld, the harder it will become to make educated estimates. Imagine Corpus Christi pulling this stunt when it's time to build a water treatment plant or Las Brisas Energy Center, okay, or tax abatements for everybody that comes down the pipe that'll, pad the pockets of all these elected officials around here. Okay, I'll get back. Okay, the thought of that alone should unite the people of Corpus Christi with the people of Denton, a common cause. We cannot unite the people of Corpus Christi, Texas. You're being you're being robbed, folks. You're being robbed blind. The city of McAllen refused to disclose how much it paid singer Enrique Iglesias to perform at a festival on the notion that the disclosure would put McAllen at a competitive disadvantage in bidding for entertainers. And we've got a lot bigger problems of that around here, Mr. Whitehurst. If you want to sit down, and I'll educate you. Okay, I've been an educator for a lot of years. Now I'll get back to this. How can taxpayers assess whether their money is being spent wisely under these circumstances? How can business competitors know whether their bid received a fair state assessment? Well, you can't. They do it behind closed doors. That's Del Mar College, that's the city, that's the county, that's the state. Okay. These are among the questions we can explore together Thursday. State Representative Todd Hunter is hosting a Transparency in Texas from 8:30 to 11:30 a.m. at Texas A&M Corpus Christi. The public is invited and there is no fee, but prospective attendees are asked to pre-register. And it goes on and says who's going to do what and when. How indeed, I'd like to know, wouldn't you? Yeah, I'd like to know, but the Caller Times isn't going to tell me. Mr. Whitehurst, you speak, with this forked tongue. Both sides of your mouth. Okay, let me give you an example. Okay? Now, Taxpayers Association meets the first Saturday of every month at 2 p.m. at the Small Planet Delicatessen, and I think that's at Staples and Saratoga. Okay? All right, so be there. The main topic of the show, the taxpayer's right to know of where and how, when tax money is spent. That's the reason I'm doing this, okay? I am the president of the Taxpayers Association. The Whitehurst article, okay? I've read that to you. Okay, now, let me give you some examples. A friend of mine and I, and he's a real CPA, okay, with great amount of experience, before in September of 14, asked for Del Mar College to provide us with the 7 general ledger accounts, okay, the detailed printouts, because we were interested in what is going on with our money at Del Mar College. Okay, very simple. Okay, now what resulted from that request We got the bombshell on 9/11/14. I guess that's a significant date. Okay. Then we were presented with a bill for $26.7 million. And let me repeat that, $26.7 million it was going to take Del Mar College to cough up those 7 general ledger accounts, in detail printout. Try to digest that, okay? Okay, after several weeks, we went to the press with this and so forth, and all of a sudden, we went into council with then, I think he was the board attorney, Mr. Augustin Rivera, and ouch, we got that information for $0. Now, why in the hell would Del Mar College want to present us with a bill for $26.7 million except to shut us up? That's their tactic at Del Mar College, folks. And this, you're paying that bloated administration over there, and now Mr. Augustin Rivera is the general counsel, and you're paying him big bucks over there, $160,000, $70,000, $80,000 a year to come up with this BS. Okay? It's incredible. Now, I have a dear friend who was locked out of his office, Dr. Bruce Olson, Colonel Olson in the Army, retired, Special Forces Airborne Ranger, and the chair of the Social Sciences Department. He is a PhD historian of great note. Okay? Now, he was locked out of his office. I heard the president himself, Dr. Mark Escamilla, say that he did not know that had happened until 20 minutes before we showed up over there at the vice president's office. Dr. Fernando Figueroa, the Fig, he's gone now, thank the dear Lord. Okay? But Dr. Olson wanted to submit, and he did on June the 19th, 2008, submitted a Texas Public Information Act for information from Del Mar College. Okay? On July 9th, 2008, he received the following. Okay? Now he's got this. This is a legal document. It's Bruce Olson, plaintiff versus Del Mar College District, aka Del Mar College defendant, cause number D-1-GN-10-001-381 in the District Court of Travis County, Texas, 126th Judicial District. Now he's filed that lawsuit, and he's already won one of them according to the jurors, but we're going to spend another $300,000-$400,000 appealing the first one, and then this one's in the works. So this is a public document. You can go in and find it. This is public information. Okay? Now, on his Texas Whistleblower Act complaint, which is going into that court in Austin, Texas, okay, he says, okay, plaintiff filed good faith reports with the Texas Attorney General regarding Del Mar's violation of the Texas Public Information Act. Now, this is just an example of how screwy this place is. On June 19, 2008, Plaintiff Olson submitted a Public Information Act request to Del Mar College. On July 9, 2008, Del Mar responded with a short email estimating the cost of plaintiff's request at $6,978.75 without itemizing or explaining the alleged expenses. Well, that's the same thing they did with us with $26.7 million. Oh, Lord, amateurs. Okay. The plaintiff paid the $6,978.75 bill on July 16, 2008. So Dr. Olson called him out, folks. Okay? All right. On October 14, 2008, Del Mar refunded $3,591.75, representing this amount as the difference between the estimated cost and the actual cost. Again, the bill was not itemized, detailed, or explained. Okay? Now, Del Mar College's response to plaintiff's June 19, 2008 request violated the Public Information Act in the following methods. They didn't provide itemized statements. Okay? Failing to inform plaintiff whether there is a less costly way of viewing the records. These are all in the Texas Public Information Act laws and so forth. Failing to inform plaintiff of the responsibilities imposed by the requester by this section, and so forth and so on. Failing to produce public information for inspection or duplication within 10 business days, and they miss that frequently. Failing to act in good faith and compliance and computing the cost, and so forth. Failing to provide the requester with written estimate of total cost, including materials, personnel, time, and so forth and so on. Failing to provide the requester with a written statement of the amount of personnel time, and complying with this stuff, and so on. And it goes on and on and on. In other words, Del Mar College doesn't know. I think they know what they're doing, but they're not real honest with people, folks. I've run into that consistently at Del Mar College. Okay? Now, I'm going to give you some examples of what I have submitted. Okay? Now, I was in the research business for a long time as a PhD microbiologist with a second major in biochemistry. They were both equal to one another. And I had a very fine postdoctoral position through the National Academy of Sciences. I think I was one of 3 that year. But I've never won the Creighton Award at Del Mar College. Okay? That's right up there with a Nobel Prize. Okay? So I can't claim to be, and I will not claim to be, an award-winning microbiologist. Okay? All right. Now, but what I have a problem with is when my leg is pulled with a whole bunch of crap. Okay? Now, we have a couple of people at Del Mar College who profess to be award-winning microbiologists and so forth and so on, and they go and apply for these grants rather than teach students. And I got real curious when these big banners are up and down the halls in the Garcia Science Building claiming that they have this new trademark product, Enterosword. Okay? Now, what they have claimed with that is they have developed a virus that will invade and use antibiotic-resistant pathogenic human organisms as the host cell, and you can cure those antibiotic-resistant strains of bacteria using this product, Enterosword, and then you don't have to worry about the antibiotics and the resistance to the antibiotics. Okay? Now, it's said to be trademarked. Now, I looked it up, and the trademark does not come up through the federal system of trademark, copyright, and so forth and so on. Okay? So I'm concerned that there are many false statements that have been made, not only on that big board up there, and here's a picture of it right there. It says trademark, okay, in the Garcia Building, and they've got students in there that preach that they are way ahead of the common student over there, and they're just wonderful, and that they're so much better than everybody else because they have developed through research this life-saving product trademarked Enterosword. Okay, now here's in Caller Times Tuesday, May the 16th, 2017, students take aim at antibiotic resistance. And here's a picture of some students there that have got their gloves on, but you know, you don't go walk around a laboratory if you're using pathogens and so forth with your lab coats open and your belly sticking out. Okay? I can tell you that from vast experience. I was in the pharmaceutical development business, and I was in one of the greatest of the antibiotic development laboratories in the universe. It was called the Northern Regional Research Lab in Peoria, Illinois. That's where I obtained that National Academy of Sciences postdoc to go up there and conduct research with them just out of graduate school. But I'm not award-winning. Okay. Now in this, they make statements after statement. Okay, 3 students have created a way to use a certain kind of virus or certain kind of viruses, bacteriophages, to fight antibiotic-resistant bacteria. Okay? The product, Enterosword, landed the group in the finals of the National Science Foundation's Community College Improved Innovation Challenge. Okay? Then it goes on. And it says, you know, they developed this, okay, through research. Okay. Now, Interosort is a detergent that kills harmful bacteria on surfaces and medical equipment. The viruses in the detergent are tailor-made, targeting only antibiotic-resistant bacteria. Now that takes research, folks. I want to see what they're doing. Now they've holding up right here. They've got all this equipment that they're doing, holding up, saying that's their research, and that's what led to the development of that trademark product. Okay, using the soap in medical settings could prevent people from contracting deadly infections, one of the students said. It costs $90 million a year. Now they go on. Not all viruses are bad, one of the students said. We can show these bacteriophage can kill bacteria without harming us and achieve better results than attempting to treat antibiotic resistance. That means that they've done some studies to do that, right? Is that what that would mean to you, ladies and gentlemen? Okay? All right, now, and it goes on, and then I've got article after article after article after article. Now, the bottom line, since I'm running out of time, I have asked through Public Information Act request on 3 different occasions for all of the research notes that are going to be involved with the trademarked product, okay? And in every instance, here's what I get, okay? I said, I'm requesting the ability to review any and all billing record. No, that's a different one, okay? This is, all right, let me just get the whole thing here. Through my rights under Texas Public Information Act request, government code, and so forth, I am hereby requesting copies of any and all contracts, agreements, U.S. patent applications between Del Mar College and any other organization, business related to the numerous publications that Del Mar students and faculty members have developed a life-saving spray Interosort. Okay? I want all the research notes and everything else. And you know what I get back? Okay? Every time? The college has reviewed your public information request for information relating to the development of a life-saving spray Interosort and has determined that there are no documents responsive to your request. Interosort was a theoretical concept submitted by students in a competition. It's not a real product. So I've been fed a 1.5 tons per day of bovine excrement, if you know what I'm talking about. Now this, folks, this is your tax money, okay? You're supporting Del Mar College. And why do the people over there at Del Mar College publish this stuff time after time after time in the Caller Times and the national reviews and everything else saying that they have developed this and it doesn't exist? It's theoretical. So would you call your Board of Regents member and ask what the hell's going on over there with this? Okay? Now, I've done a lot of viral work in my past. I've done a lot of antibiotic work in my past. And this just horrifies me since I retired from those organizations and that research efforts, and to have this blather on every wall over there. It's bovine excrement, folks. And I think you ought to be irritated with that because they're spending one hell of a lot of money over there, taxpayers' money at the federal and at the state and at the local level to propose these blatant lies. That's what it is. It's a blatant lie. So I hope you will join me in contacting the Board of Regents members. I mean, I don't think they know their backsides from a hole in the ground, to tell you the truth. They couldn't care less about education, and I'm just on a rant. So, hey, fire me, Del Mar College. I've requested that in the past, and all I've been told is, Dr. Sansing, we can fire you, but you cannot request to be fired. But we can lie to you and cheat to you as a taxpayer. Let me turn this camera off and I'll be right back. Okay, 51 seconds left. I have a student, I guess he's a veteran, and he's all upset that I have screwed him around and given him the wrong grade for his class. And then we've got students over there whining and whining and whining about this, that, and the other, and they've been taught to do that. When somebody can plunk their PhD down with a master's degree and a bachelor's degree with double majors in biochemistry and microbiology, I'll listen to you. But you can go ahead and scream and holler and raise hell in the meantime. So I'm just going to go ahead and appreciate these magnolias again. And, I don't get mad, I get even. So I'm just going to let this play out. Enjoy those magnolias, folks, and they smell better than they look.